Welcome to this map tour on Farming Simulator 19 of the newly released 6 Ashes map by GBModding. Come along with me, MrSealyp. Oh yes, 'tis a good day to be alive. 6 Ashes by GBModding has released on console. I did an early access first look map tour of this on PC. You may have already seen that. If you haven't already seen that and you're a PC gamer, you may want to watch that one. If I remember, I'll put a link up. Should pop up on the screen. But stick with this one if you're a console gamer specifically, because this is going to be very console specific. I am going to go around the map again because there are a few features I either missed or weren't in existence when I did the last map tour on this, because it was still technically a work in progress, if not almost finished when I did the map tour last time. But there are going to be things regarding slot counts, things that I missed, things that I now know. I'm also going to add into this the capacities of the animals, because as you can see, top right hand corner, I've chucked in a load of money. I've been round, I've been checking a whole load of things, I've been putting some stuff on the map just to have a bit of a play with it. What I can tell you, this is my own personal opinion, this is, I think, possibly my favourite map on Farming Simulator 19. And there are there's some stiff competition, but this is definitely up there, if not my favourite map now. For the features, the detail and that kind of thing. So, there are going to be some things that can be different to how the map will look when you come on, and we're going to get to that in a little while. So we start at the pub. This is the map, and we're starting here, at the pub. Just down to the southeast of us, there's a lime station, which we're going to have a look at in a minute. And our main farmhouse is just up here, to the northwest. There is a farm silo, we've got some machinery and stuff over there, which again we're going to have a look at in a minute. Now, as you can see, we've got animal pens. Now, these animal pens won't be showing when you come on the map. For the animal pens to show up, you need to buy the land, and then they will come up. That's part and parcel of the map. So you've got Pineview Farm there, we've got CJ Farms here, we've got Charlotte's Livery Stables and Stud. We have got up here, tucked in amongst here, we've got a horse training centre and stables. There you go, horse track and stables, which you also need to buy, and you get a little horse one come up there as well. And then up here we've got the farm, the udder dairy farm, and you'll get sheep, cows, and another sheep pasture will pop up there. So all of those plots of land you need to buy. As for how much they cost, well, I know that's going to look a little bit scary at the moment. You can buy all the periphery. If I click on that, the periphery is 0. Doesn't cost anything. So if you want to place things on bits around the periphery, or bits on, where there are stores and things, you can put placeables down if you wanted to. You're going to need to buy that land. So what I'm going to do is sell that. But I just want to show that. So this is the plot you start with, Field 51, on New Farmer. On Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, you don't. But that's what you start with. So, to buy Beechwood Fisheries, we're going to get to that in a minute, is a fishery. It's got a couple of lakes. If you buy that plot of land with the 2 lakes, you earn a bit of income because you own the fisheries and people come and fish and they pay you. Pineview Farm, actually, how much is that? That is 87,410. Pineview Farm, the pig farm, is 125,099, which you'll need to buy to be able to do pigs. We have got an arable farm here, Backacres Farm. That one is 517,290. Now each of these farms either comes with one field or a selection of fields, and it gradually builds up. They do get more expensive, but it gives you something to aim for, which I really, really like. That hasn't got any animals. That is just an arable farm. We then come down here. Now you've got the honeypot allotments, and I really, really like this. I think I bought the wrong plot there. Yeah, I bought the ones around it. Yeah, I'll sell that because I don't need those. Honeypot allotment is this bit here, and it's 11,270. Now what's also nice, and this wasn't on the previous version I looked at, I'm pretty sure it wasn't, I'm sure I would have noticed this, is the icons. The icons for the farms have got tractors on, which I think is brilliant. And then this one here, Honeypot Farm, we've got beehives and some greenhouses here, and you've got a little beehive on the icon, which is fantastic. If you buy that little plot of land and then you come over there, and if you put water and manure in, you make a little bit of money from the beehives and you make a little bit of money from the greenhouses. So you've got a little allotment, something extra added in. Only 11,270. CJ Farms is 443,820, but you get all of those fields, plus you get obviously chickens, sheep, and you get cows. That's a sheep pasture. I have put animals on all these because what I was curious about as well, with the sheep pastures, are you going to get wool pallets? Because often when the sheep pastures you don't, it's just somewhere to take them to graze if you're running seasons and that kind of things. So I wasn't sure about that, that's why I put some animals in. Biogas plant is only 53,140, and there's a nice little twist with that. I can't remember if I think I showed it when I did the PC review. Charlotte's livery, stables and stud is 900, is it? 978 grand? It can't be, surely. Wow. 978,700. Well, when we get around to each of these, I'll tell you how many animals they all hold. And then the biggie up here is the udder dairy farm. That is 1,137,000, but you get a load of fields as part of that. And you do get a sheep pen, you get a cow pasture, and a sheep pasture, a big long sheep pasture. That does take in a load of forestry as well. So there's a whole load going on there. And then down here we've got the horse track and stables, which is 50,380 if you wanted to go for that. So those are the plots of land you would need to buy to get the animal pens to show up. What we'll do as I walk down the road, we'll talk about slot counts, etc. for console, which I didn't know when I did the PC review, because obviously on PC there aren't any slots, so it was difficult to tell. Just in here we've got a lime station, lime point, the gate does open and close. There is loads of detail on this map. Now when I did the review before, and lots of people were saying it's going to be ridiculously high, it's going to be easily over 1,000. It's 689 on on new farmer. You do start with a bit of machinery, which is, I suppose, fairly high. I tell you what, I've been on maps with less detail with higher slot counts. I will say that. I personally think that's workable, and I also personally think for what you get on the map, and probably maybe I'm biased because I really like this map, and I really like this map. That doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me. With a map with this much detail, it was never going to be a 200 slot map, was it? It just wasn't. The animal pastures and pens are all fixed in place. You can buy more and you can put more pastures in if you want to, but they are fixed in place. They can't be sold or moved, so they are kind of already there. You have got the potential for loads of farms. I mean, loads of farms on this map. This is the fishery. Detailing on stuff, again, is just amazing. Off the charts. I said this when I did the PC review. I'm not going to keep saying that, but GBModding has a knack for this. I mean, an absolute, I say a knack, a skill. It's an art. So there's one of your lakes. I think there's another one over here. There's a little bit of a camping ground as well. I think the thing that set my mind alight really was as when I first came around this, and now coming around it again, because there's always that thing of, yes, alright, I've been around it on PC, and a couple of times I've been offered the chance to do PC reviews, and I've done them. And I only ever do a PC review early if the map is going to be coming to console. That sometimes when it comes to console it loses a bit. Sometimes the textures are a little bit off. Sometimes there's a load of features missing. So, there's always something. This, not at all. I mean, honestly, maybe graphically on PC, depends on what PC you're running it on, a little bit sharper maybe, but honestly, I can't see the difference. There are loads and loads of buildings dotted around this map, and the beauty being that your farmhouse is not a set in place farmhouse, it's a doormat. Does that open? I think they all do. Yeah. And that's just a random house. Garage, door opens. Because your farmhouse sleep trigger is just a doormat, which means, which is where we are now, you can remove that and place that in front of any building. As long as you own the land, any building on this map can become your house, which gives you so much scope. And I also think as a multiplayer map, because there are so many different farms scattered around the map, and the potential for storytelling on this is incredible. So there's your doormat, and there's your farmhouse. And as we come round, we've got a garage around the back. Just then realised I didn't open on my PC the information on this. I just realised I was going to have it up because I was going to read something out to you. I don't think it's going to load up in time. But anyway, as we come up here, we've got a little workshop at the back. There are no triggers or anything for this greenhouse. That's aesthetic. We've got a workshop trigger here. And as we come over to the gate, now I've already opened this gate and I've already done something. So what I'm going to do when I get to the gate here, I'm going to hand over to a future MrSealyp, because this is being recorded before the next bit. It'll make sense in a second. So he's very well qualified, very good at what he does. I'm just going to hand over to him now. Thank you, MrSealyp. So this is what it will look like when you first come on. And what I'm going to also do at this point is show you the map. So if you come onto New Farmer, you will only start with field 51. So as compared to what I've just shown you already, what you've already seen, this is what you will actually start with, and this is what the fields would all look like. So where you've got New Farm, Pineview Farm, it doesn't show the pigs. Charlotte's livery stables doesn't show the horses. CJ Farms doesn't show the chickens, sheep, or the cows. And over here at the Udder Dairy Farm, it doesn't show the sheep, cows, or the sheep pasture over here. So this is what it will look like when you come on. All of those you will have to buy. Now the thing I was just talking about, and again, if you've already seen my PC review of this, this hasn't changed. And you know, I really like this. Some people won't like it. And if you don't like it, it doesn't matter because you can get rid of it really quickly. But when you come onto your kind of your yard, I don't remember that trailer being there when I did the PC review though. So potentially that's been added. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't think it was. But your machinery and stuff is all stuck in here and you can't get it out. And this is for people, if you didn't watch my PC review, this is the first time you're seeing this, this is going to be important to you. So these bits of machinery are part of the machinery you start with. You've got your tractor there, there's a pickup through there, and you've got your harvester there. We've got some other bits of equipment around the side, just here, but you can't actually get them out because there's barrels in the way and all sorts of stuff. You can't remove them. So what you need to do, if you go into your menu, go to Garage and scroll across, part of your slot count is this decoration, and that decoration is all the rubbish and stuff around the yard. So what you can do if you want to, you can have a storyline, a narrative, you get a company in to clear it, you clear it, whatever you want to do, it's entirely up to you. But if I sell that item, it clears all the stuff away. So all the rubbish is gone, you can now get your vehicles out. But be warned, your vehicles are in serious need of either fuel or repair. That's not looking too great. You may not want this as you start machinery and you may get rid of it straight away. That one, you pick up, wow, I mean that needs both really badly. And I think the harvester's pretty much the same. Yeah, all in serious need. So they've been left, they're in disrepair. It's a nice bit of narrative to add to it. So that's what this part will look like when you come to it. I think on all three, whether you're a new farmer, farm manager, or start from scratch, that's how it'll look. But like I say, if you want to start your farm off differently and you don't want this to be your main farm, what you might want to do is get rid of that decoration, get rid of the machinery, and start from scratch with all new stuff anyway. That's entirely your prerogative, but that's how you get rid of that rubbish and that's how you get the stuff out. Silo's just over there, and what we'll do now is I'm going to hand back over to the past MrSealyp. Yeah. For the rest of the tour. I'll open this gate again because I think he's probably already opened it, hasn't he? And we shall continue. Okay, does that all make sense? Excellent. So, yeah, as you can see, obviously because he's just done it, but now I'm here, but I had already done it. And I'd already used the pickup to drive around, which actually I just suddenly thought I'm going to need to get on it. I did repair it, but didn't put fuel in it. So that's something I'm going to need to do. So I'm going to drive the pickup out just like I did on the previous review. Now again, people may be arguing, well, why are you reviewing it again? If you've already done it, why are you doing another map tour? Because this is, like I said, this is console specific. This is to look at primarily the differences, if there are any, between the PC and console version, but also to talk about the slots, and also, like I said, don't disappear, don't go anywhere, because there are a load of features that I have come across in feeding the animals that I didn't know existed when I did the previous one. Plus, like I said earlier, the slot count situation won't exist when you're doing a PC version, because the slot count doesn't exist. That's just the way it works. So, sorry, I'm just trying to multitask here. Now this is going to take a little while, so apologies for that. And I do apologise if I whiz round this. And if you want to, I say in depth, no, because this is probably going to be as in depth as the previous one. If you do want to, I mean, at any point you can just slow down. And this is one of those maps. Honestly, I could just spend hours driving around, just drive around the map, because I just think it's, I dare to use the word gorgeous. It is a gorgeous looking map. The detail, each yard is different. They all have their own characteristics. So, Pineview Farm. This is the pig farm. Various different buildings all around the place, which is really lovely. Manure pits just there. Loads of barn space and buildings. And all of the water points are marked. It says water station. So on all of the farms you've got a water station for getting your water, which makes life a lot easier. This one doesn't have a silo, but each farm also does have a workshop. And this one does, but I think the fuel points, you have to fill them up. So you have to go and get fuel, bring it here and fill it up, I think, if I recall correctly. Now, actually we can test that because I need fuel. Your trigger for your pigs, that's interesting. Why is the trigger for the pigs not working? It was working because I bought them all. Hang on, I do own this land, don't I? Oh, Muppet. Did I sell it? I did, didn't I? What a twit. That's better. Right. See what I mean? So you have to own it. There we go. So that's your buy, sell, load or unload trigger for the pigs here. Water trough is here. Now this is a feature I didn't know about and wouldn't know about until you put animals in. So there's your water trough. When you first come here, this is just a big hole. A big hole with a tiny little bit of water in the bottom. When you fill up the trough for water for the pigs, that fills up. And as it runs out, the water level goes down. Brilliant. Brilliant feature, love it. Your straw point is just there, your feed trigger is just over there. These pigs here at Pineview Farm will take 300. So 300 pigs of your choice can be put in here. So we'll close that off. Actually, I'm going to just check this fuel thing. I'm pretty sure you have to fill them up. I'm sure when I did the review before. Yeah, select the silo. So it's an 8,000 litre silo, but it is empty, so you are going to need to get something to fill them up first if you want to use them. Or there is a fuel station on the map. You can go to the fuel station. Right, continue from here. We're going to go left. We're heading kind of west, northwest-ish. The landscape, like I said, it is gorgeous. It's so lovely. We've got a fantastic little ford here, loads of detail. House being renovated. Across the ford, we've got a little turn in there which cuts off this triangle. You can take it if you want to, you don't have to. I'm just thinking whether I'm repeating exactly how I talked about it last time. But maybe, maybe not. Doesn't matter. I'm loving it. Even if I just do this entire map tour just to indulge myself. But you may not have seen the previous one, so that's the whole point, isn't it? And like I say, this is console specific. So, slot counts for the map. On New Farmer, 689 out of 1299. Did I say that earlier? I'm just trying to think. Did I say that? 689. Now, oh yeah, I did. Like I said, that doesn't bother me in the slightest. If you come on Farm Manager or start from scratch, it's exactly the same. You start with the same machinery. I'll say exactly the same. The slot count is 688. It's one lower because you don't have the doormat, because you don't own any property, you don't have a sleep through the night trigger, so it's one slot less. but you do start with all the same machinery. However, if you sell all of that machinery off because you want to start with new stuff, you can get it down to 602, which I think that gives you about 700 slots to play with. That's doable. I personally think that's doable. So we are at Backacres Farm, which is just here. Like I say, this is an arable farm. Again, loads of storage, buildings, etc. There is a workshop here as well. I don't think, is there a silo? There might be a silo. Let me just check the map. So we come from Pineview. I went out round the triangle that way, but you can cut across, which we'll do on the way back. There's farm silos on the other side of the road. But there is another fuel point to fill up. Hang on. Ah, so it's seed, fertiliser and lime silo. Was that there before? And that's your farm silo. So you've got specific seed, fertiliser and lime around there. And then we've got a farm silo we're going to have a quick look at. So, I hope I don't run out of fuel before I get to the fuel point. Opposite we've got the post office. That's a sell point. Just there. But the thing I love about this map as well is all the little tracks and lanes and little routes around the place. Like I say, you can just drive around it for hours and I wouldn't get bored. Farm silo just there. Little kind of derelict building, barn space, but there is more barn space there. Have I mentioned collisions? There are no collisions on the hedges. Now I'm sure someone commented before on when I did the review last time and said, oh, it's ridiculous, why do mappers do that? You don't have to drive through them. All I'm doing is pointing out there are no collisions on them. If you don't drive through the hedges anyway, then it's irrelevant. It makes no difference. You can still avoid them. You don't have to go through them. But there are no collisions. So we are now here. We've come from there up to 7 Valley Stores. That's another sell point. But we've also got seed, fertiliser and lime station. So we've got seed, fertiliser or buy point and lime station. MrSealyp, get your words out. So we've got a buy point there. So lime, seed and fertiliser. Very cool. What I'm going to do now is probably cut. There is loads more of this map you won't get to see because I just haven't got the time to drive around the whole thing. I suppose what I should have done was like an 8-hour stream and just driven around and taken my time. So, going north of the crossroads, past the farm that we start with our field 51. So it's just a case of just looking and basically just looking at the scenery, at the landscape. But like I said earlier, we've got a load of buildings dotted around this map, and there's one further up on the map which is on the southeast side. I didn't even find when I looked around the map the first time. I'm pretty sure all of the garages with those shutter doors, the garage is open, so you can put your farmhouse anywhere. The scope for that is just brilliant. So then we come to the main road that runs right way across the map. Be careful because the traffic absolutely hoons along here, which it would do on a main road. Turn in here. Up over that hill there's some more barn space and lovely scenery. So just here and round behind there you can see there's a milk tanks there. There's a little sell point just there. And we have Sprouts Farmers Market. So that's another one of the sell points. So from there, went all the way back, up there, as you've just seen, all the way up here, and then back down the road there. So we're now at Sprouts Farmers Market. there's a garden centre, there's 6 Ashes farm shop, and there's the fuel station we're going to have a look at in just a second, and we'll go a bit further on the road. So that's Sprouts. We've got our fuel station just here, and the farm shop is just the side there of the fuel station, 6 Ashes farm shop. And if we tuck round the back here, we've got the garden centre. Now the garden centre has got a manure bunker at the end. That is a sell point, and that sell point is for, if I remember correctly, manure, slurry and digestate. You don't often get that on farms, on maps. If I go down to the garden centre and scroll across, yeah, so if you do make a load of digestate, the biogas plant, and you don't intend to use it on your fields, you can actually sell it. The money you make isn't huge, but you can sell it if you want to, it's a nice feature again to have. Excuse me, just the ability to be able to sell digestate can make a big difference, because if you're not the sort of person that uses it but you do want to sell stuff at the biogas plant to make money, why not be able to make money on your byproducts, you know? So that's the garden centre. From here out onto the motorway, and next turning on our right will take us to the livestock market, and the first of the stables we're going to look at, Charlotte's, is a bit further along, so 6 Ashes livestock market. Like I say, now as we go around, I have put animals in all the pens, just to, it kind of brings it alive, but also because I wanted to see what we're looking at. So the livestock market is just here. We've got a barn sell point there for bales. We've also got a buy point for manure and slurry. So if you want to get on this and start using, you know, manure and slurry for doing your fields rather than chemical fertilizers, and you don't have any animals yet, you can come and buy it from here. There are placeables available that you can get from the mod hub and put down, but it's nice to have them on the map already. Like I say, I do like that as a feature. Actually, what we'll do is we'll cut through here. Once you've bought this plot of land, someone left the gate open. We've got, let's just close that a second. We'll jump onto the map again. So the horse, track and stables. Now this one, the horse, track and stables, holds 6 horses. I think each of them holds 6 horses. We have got some quality names on the horses that I put in actually. I don't know what to say, but Venus, Admiral, Khan, brilliant. Ocean, Gulliver, Vagabond, and then the other pen which we're going to get to at Charlotte's, Rudolph, Zen, Watson, love that, Vega, Ruby and Icarus. I don't know who thinks these names up for putting in for the animals, that just does them randomly. But anyway, so the various triggers for the feeding and watering and stuff, I think bedding goes in that one. If we go through the little gap here, the detail on this is amazing. Water trough is just there, feed trough is there, and then you've got a little bit of a training area around here for exercising your horses should you wish to do so. Back to the pickup. Across the road will take us to the store. I'm just going to check that. That was a barn sale point, wasn't it? I said barn with such confidence then. Yeah, livestock barn. That's the barn sale point. Then realised when I finished, no it wasn't, it was something else. So, back onto the main road. Next left is the store. We have, as you can probably just see now, a New Holland store here. Don't come across those very often in-game. People would normally leave them generic, or we would get quite a few John Deere ones. I know on Stone Valley it's a Case dealership, but this is nice, very modern looking store. So your reset point is back here should you have an issue. Your buy trigger is just there, but obviously you can buy from your menu. If I click straight on here and go across, so that's my main paddle in the middle of my controller. You may be new to the game, you may not even know that, but you can just go and you can buy everything kind of on your tablet. I always refer to it as your tablet or your laptop, and you can buy it and then go and collect it. But the trigger is there should you want to do exactly the same thing. Then out the back we've got our customise, repair, sell point just here. These do open. Very nice. And this is where your vehicles spawn. Nice big open area. plenty of room for getting your vehicles in and out. But as with the fast moving traffic, I think the thing to bear in mind is with the fast moving stuff, if you've got a slow vehicle that you've just bought, just give yourself plenty of room to get out onto the main road. Make sure you've got your beacons on so everyone's aware of what you're doing. So, turning quickly up here, we've got, this is Cozy Wool, traditional spinnery for your wool and cotton needs. It's tucked directly behind the store. Just there. I'm trying to think what turning comes up next. So I'm looking down at my piece of paper at the same time to make sure I don't miss any of the features off. Mentioned the icons, yeah. Right, that turning there will take you back down towards your farm. I think that's the one. Back to your farm. Right. Oh, does that take us to Charlotte's as well? No, that's further up. I'm sure it is. Yeah. We've got another turning on our left. So, turning on our left, coming up, will take us out to the Udder Dairy Farm. So we're going to head out there, and that's the really expensive plot to buy, but that does have a sheep barn, sheep pen, a sheep pasture and a cow pasture in it as well. And when you buy the plot of land, you do have a bit of forestry, so I'm going to take a quick turn back on myself there. I honestly can't see any difference at all between this and the PC version. I honestly, you know, it's really nice to see. I mean, Little Norton was pretty much the same. You know, it's a really, really nice map. So off to our right is the sheep pasture. That once you've bought the land, it will pop up. Now this is the same. I haven't actually had any wool pallets or anything spawn yet. Just suddenly realised that. But the trigger is just here. This one, where are we on my little piece of paper? The sheep pasture holds 250. The sheep pen that we're going to get to holds 100, and the cows holds 200 on this farm. But yeah, there's no. This is a pasture, so there's no wool pallet spawn point here. But our triggers, there's your water trough, and there's your feed trough. Although I know if you're running seasons, obviously they're going to be eating the grass off the ground anyway. But the trough there for your hay or grass is just there. Heading onwards, we'll come to the farm itself, and this is kind of the biggest of the farms on the map. My mind is racing because, I'll be honest, this is my next Let's Play map, without any shadow of a doubt. I'm pretty sure every YouTuber and his uncle is going to be doing this map. But right from when GB sent me this to have a look at, before I even did the map tour, oh man, just when he said yes, this is definitely coming to console, just amazing. So, there's your sheep pen, that will hold 100. Your triggers are inside. That's quite tricky to get to, especially if you're using larger vehicles, but with only 100 in there you shouldn't need as much. We've got the silo just here, and that's where you get your stuff out of your silo. Putting stuff into your silo is inside this building with the green top. Now this silo here, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same on the other ones, this silo will hold all of your crop types, but it will also hold forage crops. It doesn't hold everything. Potatoes and sugar beet I think it does. I wonder if it will let me load into this. Let's see if it will let me go through it. No, it won't, will it? Oh, I was hoping it would. But it holds a whole load of stuff other than just your standard crop types. So we've got, I think that's the fuel point, not the water point. Because normally there's a little sign that says water. I'm pretty sure that's fuel, isn't it? Yeah. That's your diesel tank. So your cow pasture is just here. Milk from there. Slurry from there. Your manure piles up there. Where was the water point? There is a water point. Workshop. Like I said, each of the farms does have a workshop, so there are plenty of workshops. There we go. It does say there, wool storage, please return empty pallets. There we go. Ah, now that's interesting. So, I've got one wool pallet there and one wool pallet there. So I'm wondering whether or not the wool being produced from the pasture does appear here. It would be weird having them separated. So yeah, potentially we are getting wool from the pasture then. Light switch over here for those darker mornings and evenings where the light fades. Triggers for feeding and whatnot are here. So that's your straw trigger just there. That's your buy, sell, load or unload for the cows, and your feed trigger is along there, and the water point is just there where that cow is just sort of having a bit of a nibble on the grass, maybe having a bit of water. Nice big open pasture up there for 200 cows. There is definitely a water point here. Where was it? Am I losing my mind? They're always marked. Somewhere around the back or something. Oh, there we go. I knew there was one. There you go, water station. I generally speaking will go around. I don't often point out the water stations because there are so many placeables available and you can put one down fairly cheaply, and you know, if there isn't one available. So it's not something I ever kind of look for anymore. I always used to on FS17 because it was a bit more of an issue often, and having a water source on the map that was free was also a tricky one, whereas now there are so many. But when they are very clearly marked and each farm's got one, might as well point out. So back down to the main road. Another building over there, which again you could use as your farmhouse if you want to. That track there I think leads over the top and down towards the store, so it's kind of a cut through, if you want to use it as a cut through. I'm very aware this is going to be a fairly long map tour again because there's just so much to see, and it feels like a huge map. I don't know why. It's not a 4x map or anything like that. It's a standard map size, but it just feels very, very big. I think I'll get straight out. Right, next turning on our right will take us down towards Charlotte's Broad Lanes. So down the hill here. Now this is the one that squeaky. Got loads more buildings, some very nice salubrious accommodation. When I showed you this a little while ago, I was quite astonished at how expensive it was, because it's not like you can graze any more or have any more horses. You get the building and whatnot, which is lovely. So feed trough there, water trough further down. This will hold 6 as well. This also has a water point. It has barn buildings, a little bit of a training area. Your buy, sell, load and unload is just there. But yeah, it's fairly expensive, this one. So we have come from the shop. Like I say, I think that track that I just talked about is there. I think it goes up the side there, cuts across and goes up. So you can cut off that corner. But we went all the way up to the Udder Dairy Farm. Back on the road, we've now come down here. Charlotte's livery stables. Now, like I say, there are lots of little side tunnels. There are barns and buildings all over the place, tucked away in little corners. But Charlotte's livery is where we're at the moment. So much more to see. I've got to fit it all in. Oh, that reminds me, before I go off this, saying about filling up the fuel, something I missed before, I was saying about it a little while ago, but under tools, under miscellaneous, no, was it miscellaneous or was it animals? I think it's under animals. We've got the standard in-game MKS 8 and the MKS 32. We've got the GBModding, the GBM 8 and the GBM 32. The difference between these, well, one, they're cheaper, considerably cheaper, plus they hold more. So these will hold milk and water and fuel and liquid fertiliser, herbicide, slurry and digestate. A few map makers are doing this now. I think Jim was one of the first people I came across that ever did that on a map. So yeah, and I didn't come across those when I did the previous look at. So they are in the store under animals as a mod, which is rather nice. Continuing down the road, we're going to go to the sawmill, the little honeypot allotments, then back round to CJ Farm, then I can't remember now. See what I mean? I don't know. I know a lot of people will always say they don't like English maps, and that's fine. You don't have to. But it is, I don't know, it's so nice. So many great features. The have I gone the wrong way? No. Did this last time, I'm sure I did. There we go. The picture I took, and I think the one that GB uses for the screenshot, just over there's a little ford, and it's tucked away right over there, and unless you actually went to use those fields you wouldn't really come across it, but there's a little ford with it. Oh, it's just really picturesque. So here we are at, so we're going down there, we go back to sawmill in a second. Honeypot allotments, really cheap to buy. What you make out of these an hour I don't know yet, and it doesn't really matter, you'll make something. Water point there, put the water in, and if greenhouses will get things in. And then we've got a manure point just there, put the manure in. Normally if you put water in you make some money, if you put water in you make money, manure in it normally doubles whatever you're going to make. And here are all your beehives. Now when I came and did this on the previous, the previous map tour, I did buy the land to show it, but there were no bees. So this is, we've now got bees, look, coming out of all of our little beehives. Really nice, great little feature to have. And again, if it's not your cup of tea, if you don't agree with buying things and getting free money and that kind of thing, then don't buy it. You don't have to. It's a tiny little plot, it will sit here out of the way, you won't have to go anywhere near it if you don't want to. So, sawmill is just the right, fairly small. That little track there leads out through to an open field, and again the views are just sort of place you'd love to go for a picnic. Just go and sit on a hillside and feeling like I need to get away again. I was talking to MrSealyp the other day about this. We were saying we need to just need to get out and away. Probably back up to the lakes, but honestly at this point anywhere. I really don't mind. So sawmill just here, lumber point. Now that has, you put your lumber there, but the trigger is through there. Wood chip sale point is just there. So if we come on the side, open this up, the trigger is just there for your lumber. So you unload or put your lorry just there, or whatever you've got your lumber on, and there's your trigger. So that's your sawmill. In case you weren't sure. It does say quality timber, and on the wall sawmill in big letters. Right, off to CJ. I'm going to take the back lane. I think one of the other people that's up there at the moment for map making too is Greenbale from Greenwich Valley, because I think there's a new map he's working on at the moment, which again, oh man, it looks phenomenal. I was just driving along there thinking, I was watching one of Greenbale's videos the other day, because he makes Let's Play videos as well. It just reminded me of that, just wow. So, sheep pasture, just here. Trigger is just here. This sheep pasture at CJ's will hold 250 sheep. So water trough there, feed trough just over there. This will hold 250. Close that. Through here, we've got chickens. So again, another farmhouse, another garage that opens, another workshop, trigger. Gate there and one on the other side, so you can drive right through if you want to. Trigger for your chickens. This will hold 100 chickens. The eggs spawn... That's a good point. Where do the eggs spawn? Have I had any spawn yet? I don't know if I have. That's why I put chickens in here, because I thought, oh, that's important. Oh, is it in here? I think it might have been right. Yes, on the shelf there is where the egg boxes spawn. I was going to say, I'm sure... No, I don't remember if I showed that before, but anyway, yeah, so there's a few things that I've kind of come across, but there's so much to look at. I keep forgetting things, and I do apologise. So, other side of the road, we've got the cows here at CJ Farm. Round here, wool storage. So, that's good. So the pasture, the wool is going to come into here. I wasn't sure. I know when it says wool storage, you think, oh, is that just somewhere for you to put your wool? But even if they are out in the pasture, they are still producing wool, which is great. Bunker silo, if I open up the help menu, I've got my side panel plugged in on my PlayStation 4, so that's how I can open and close my menus without going into the main menu. It's bunker silo just there. Around the side here, we've got farm silo. How do I get to that? Oh, that was off the road there. Sorry. Bit of a shelter space. Farm silo just there. And we've got a milk point just here. So you have to come out and go around there. I'm going to hop the fence again. And we go around here. We've got our buy, sell, load or unload point for our cows. We have got our straw trigger for bedding here. Feed trigger just there. And our water point is out over here somewhere. Gate access all over the place, so no problem at all. Where is it? Just over there. The cows here, we can have... How many cows was this? 200. So 250 sheep, 200 cows, 100 chickens here at CJ Farms. Water point, you can see the yellow sign there. There's a water point just there. Slurry point is just here. I mean, it's not all easily accessible. It's not like all lined up. But I think that's cool. You've got to work for it. But what is also cool, and not everyone likes this, there's your bunker silo, or your manure pit, but you have to muck them out. As you can see there, we've got manure on the floor, so they need to be mucked out. Right, so that's CJ. I again apologise if I'm rattling through. I'm trying to add in as much information as I can. All the information I didn't have when I previously did this, but I will still want to get round everything to show everything that's here. I've talked about the silo, the other farm that had forage in. I've done that. Doormat tankers as mods. I've been through that, so I'm just looking down my list. Back out to the road and up past Charlotte's and back up to the main road again. No, actually, if you carry on the road we went down just there, and we turned left to go to the sawmill and honey pot. If you go round, bend round, veer to the right as you go round there, it takes you back round down past the pub and back up to the crossroads where we first started. So it does kind of loop all the way round. Right, back out to the main road. Now this turning here on my left, don't forget time. I may end up having to cut it off, but that goes off into the distance, round to a little farmhouse, farm building. There's fields out there obviously, but nothing else. And I never found it before, and I was playing on this last night, setting things up and feeding animals and whatnot, and so I thought, oh, I wonder where that goes. And it's another one of those ones like, it's just there, you know. So, sell point, Grainco. If we have a look back on the map, so up past here, so like I said, when we came down here and we turned left, if you follow the road round, it goes past the lime station, fishery, the pub, and back up to where we started. We came back out up to the main road. We've come along. We're now at Grainco. Grainco, there is one of your main sell points. No, it's not. Yes, it is. There we go. One of your main sell points. Hang on, where's all the things gone? That's one of your main sell points. At Grainco, to get to the sell point, we open up this here. Sell point's tucked away. Again, nice feature. Didn't have to be there. Could just be out in the open. That's Grainco. Close that back down again. And then we come to, I think it's the last. Is it the last? I haven't missed anything, have I? Don't think so. The last of the sell points, which is the BGA. Now again, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before, but if it's the first time you're watching this and you haven't seen this before, the BGA is a lovely trick up its sleeve, which again you don't get very often. So turning right down towards the BGA. Now the PDA on this map, the actual map itself, is based on a real Google Images map. This is a real place, real environment. The landscape is how it is. I meant to mention that right at the start. So, down to the biogas plant. The biogas plant, which as I've already mentioned is only 53,000 to buy. Loads of detail on here as well. More barn and building space should you need it. We've got a, I think that's the line, wasn't it? Pretty sure it's the line point. Let me just check the map. Oh, it's not showing as one. I'm sure I probably said that last time. Digestate tank is just here, so your byproduct, anything you sell at the biogas plant, you'll get the byproduct of digestate. That's where you collect that from. Our digester is just here, or the sell point for the digesters, which are behind, is just there. And we've got two fairly large bunker silos here, so kind of cut into the landscape again. Really nice detailing. Like all these extra tanks, never really come across those before. It's one of those things I'm liking. This is not, I've said this on a few maps recently, this is not just a plonk situation. It's not, but here's my map, now let's go and get some generic, let's go and get a generic BGA, plonk, let's get a generic farm, plonk. This is all sort of custom, tailor-made to fit in. You know, some bits you can tell are, you know, but the building stuff around it, the way it's laid out, it's not just a wallop BGA, you know. And I like that. I think that's really cool. So the BGA, the trick up its sleeve, is that if we go into the menu and we go to the biogas plant at the top and we scroll across, it will take manure, it will take slurry, great. It will take grass and hay, but doesn't take straw. That's right in that order, isn't it? But it takes wood chips, and it pays 900 for wood chip, so it pays more for wood chips than it pays for silage. Silage is paying 360, wood chip 900. That makes wood chip really, really relevant. I have often said, and will say it repeatedly, wood chip you don't often get paid very much for, and it kind of becomes one of those products you think, you know, I've often done it on a map if I'm doing logging because it's kind of part and parcel of logging, but you have to do so much of it to make any money. And I'm pretty sure on La Coronea it was used for part of the compost making process, or was that removed in the end? I can't remember now. But being able to sell it at the BGA, that's fantastic. Now, would it normally be sold at the BGA? I don't think wood chips, generally speaking, are. That would be done, I think, as it was on FS19. You had the biomass heating plants where you could sell them. Again, you didn't always earn very much money, but it, you know, it doesn't matter. You can. So what I'm going to do to finish off is not get hit by a cement lorry. I'm just going to go up that little lane. I think I've pretty much covered everything. I've been across the entire map. If you've gleaned nothing else from this other than I like the scenery or I don't like the scenery, you know, you can take from it whatever you wish. You may have found in the first 5 minutes, you know what, this is the map for me. If I take this turn in, this is what I mean. Just those little bits that make a difference, that if it wasn't here you wouldn't know, but the fact it is here, I just personally think really adds to it. It adds the potential for storytelling and narrative, and I don't know, just all out here. Take this little turn in, and there's some farm buildings, some sheds, and that's it. There's nothing else out here. It's not a through route to anywhere. It's just here. And then we look out across the countryside. I think one of the other things that is really striking to me is wait for it, it's the undulations. The fields aren't all kind of set on a slope. They do undulate. You've got rolling landscape. You know, the fields do roll, and it's great. Phenomenal map. So there you go. That's 6 Ashes by GBModding. I hope you have found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.